Naoya Inoue didn't just walk into the ring that night. He arrived as a symbol. A symbol of discipline, dominance, and destruction. 30 fights, 30 wins, and a legacy that was already cemented in stone, yet somehow still unfolding before our eyes. He wasn't here to prove a point anymore. He was here to make a statement. Not to the crowd, not even to his opponent, but to himself. Because when you're that far ahead of the pack, the only one left to chase is your own shadow. Standing across from him was a man many believed had the kind of spirit that couldn't be quantified by numbers. Arais Alim had talked his way into the conversation before, but tonight it was the man from San Antonio, Alexander Cardenas, who had done more than talk. He had prepared, he had trained, and most importantly, he had believed. And belief, especially when fused with the right amount of fearlessness, has a way of making things dangerous. He wasn't interested in surviving the rounds or being part of someone else's highlight reel. He came to rewrite the ending. The atmosphere was thick. Not the kind of thick you get from noise, but the kind that wraps around the bones, tense, electric, unnerving. When two fighters meet at that caliber, the arena becomes less of a venue and more of a volcano. Everyone holds their breath, waiting for the eruption. And by the end of round 2, it came. Cardenas did the unthinkable. With timing, poise, and a well-timed counter, he sent Naoya Inoue to the canvas. It was fast, subtle, but the effect was seismic. The arena gasped, jaws dropped, and the entire sport paused. For only the second time in his career, the monster had been floored. In that instant, Inoue wasn't the mythical destroyer anymore. He was vulnerable, human, mortal. But it's in that exact moment, the fall, that you discover something deeper about greatness. It's not about never falling. It's about how you respond when you do. Inoue didn't rush back like a man desperate to prove something. There was no frantic blitz. No careless revenge. What returned to the center of that ring was something even more terrifying. Calm. The kind of calm only a seasoned executioner can possess. He began to adjust. Slowly. Methodically. Like a predator who had tasted its own blood and decided it would never happen again. The jab became his scalpel, sharp, controlled, and vertical with a thumb up, used to blind and disguise. His footwork became tighter and more disciplined. He was setting traps, not reacting. And the right hand, the same one that had missed its mark earlier, was now finding its rhythm. He was downloading data, recalibrating. Every inch of the ring became part of his plan. Each corner, each rope, every pivot step and feint, it all served a purpose. Cardenas, who had once appeared to be holding his own, was slowly being pulled into deeper waters. And unlike most who drown gradually, he was going to feel every second of it. The body shots started to come. Not all at once. Just enough to begin the story. Inoue never throws to the body like a man just looking to score points. He throws like someone trying to break you from the inside out. A right hand below the ribcage here, a sweeping left to the liver there. Cardenas began to react, not dramatically, but enough to show that he was registering it. That's when Inoue smiled internally. Because when the body flinches, the mind begins to doubt. Round by round, Inoue's tempo rose. His shots gained weight not because of power but because of accuracy. Placement is power when you're a fighter like him. By the 5th round, it wasn't just punches anymore. It was pressure. Relentless, suffocating pressure that kept Cardenas from resetting, from thinking, from even catching his breath. He was being asked to answer questions faster than his instincts could react. And that's where the separation begins, not between good and great, but between great and legendary. Cardenas, still brave, still firing back, began to look for pockets of air. But Inoue is the type of fighter who doesn't just take those away. He replaces them with violence. He started doubling up on the right hand, then sneaking in the left hook from impossible angles. He'd pivot off center, fire to the body, then immediately return upstairs before Cardenas could adjust. It wasn't just athleticism. It was geometry, physics, brutality disguised as mathematics. Then came round 6. The turning point. 90 punches thrown. 48 landed. 33 of them were power shots. Not one of them was wasted. Inoue had decided that this round would be his thesis statement. His jab wasn't just setting up shots, it was canceling Cardenas's own rhythm. He'd blind, punch, angle out, and do it again. Cardenas found himself swinging at shadows. That round didn't end with a knockdown. It ended with a silence, a realization. A quiet across the crowd, a hush that falls when people collectively realize they're witnessing something historic. The fans weren't just watching a man win a fight. They were watching a craftsman dismantle another professional with such precision that it bordered on cruel. Round 7 began with desperation from Cardenas, as it should have. He knew he was losing grip of the fight. He came forward behind combinations, hoping to interrupt the oncoming storm. And for a brief moment, he landed a shot. Not clean, but enough to spark a murmur. Inoue, ever composed, simply nodded, then returned fire. Not emotionally, not recklessly, methodically. It was a reminder that this wasn't just a fight anymore. This was a man doing what he was born to do. Then the tide crashed, the right hand cracked through. Cardenas staggered. Another right, this one straighter, cleaner, followed, and the challenger's legs betrayed him. He fell into the ropes, his guard high but ineffective. Inoue didn't need an invitation. He stormed in, throwing in combinations, mixing up head and body, high-low high, a brutal rhythm that only he seemed to understand. Cardenas finally dropped to the canvas, overwhelmed not by a single punch but by an avalanche. The bell saved him, barely. But survival isn't the same as recovery. As he walked back to the corner, the question wasn't whether he had heart, it was whether he had anything left. His trainer saw it too. Leaning in, he told him, "You've got one more round." The words weren't angry. They weren't even emotional. They were final. They were real. Because when a fighter is being torn apart piece by piece, there's only so much a corner can allow. Round 8 was academic. Inoue came out knowing he could end it at will. His footwork was lighter. His face carried a glint of familiarity, a smile, almost. Not one of joy, but one of recognition. He'd been here before. He knew what to do. The first body shot landed 30 seconds in. Cardenas visibly winced. The second came soon after, short, sharp, and precise. He retreated, but Inoue pursued. No hesitation. No wasted motion. He was cutting off the ring like a man chasing destiny, not just a win. And then it came. The final combination. Right hand. Left to the body. Uppercut. Hook. The referee had seen enough. He stepped in and waved it off. There was no protest. No confusion. Just closure. Naoya Inoue had done it again. But this time, it wasn't just a knockout. It was a resurrection. Because when you're undefeated, when you're dominant, the world waits for your fall. And Inoue did fall, briefly. But he didn't just get up. He evolved. He adapted. And then he destroyed it. That's the story of the monster. Not just that he's powerful, or skilled, or undefeated. But he's capable of responding to adversity like a master. He doesn't panic. He learns. And when he learns, he ends you. Cardenas, for all his courage, walked into the fire and gave his all. But Inoue is no ordinary fire. He's a furnace that doesn't just burn, it purifies. And on that night, he burned brighter than ever. In boxing, moments define legacies. A punch landed. A round won. A title taken. But what sets legends apart is what they do when the script flips. When they're the hunted, not the hunter. When the fans gasp instead of cheer. When their own corner wonders if this might be the night they look human. Inoue faced that moment. And he didn't run from it. He turned it into fuel. He is now 30-0. A perfect record. But records can be deceiving. What matters more is how you survive when perfection is threatened. And that's what this night was about. Not just the punches, the rounds, and the scores, but the response. Because when greatness is punched in the face, its true nature is revealed. And Naoya Inoue revealed it, violently, elegantly, and absolutely. The monster remains. But now we know, even when shaken, even when dropped, even when doubted, he doesn't just return, he takes everything.